What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. Welcome to another Hot Topics video. This time around, I'm going to be covering the topic of health insurance, I guess. Really more so healthcare in general. There's going to be a whole bunch of branches and tangents I'm going to go on with this, but it's all kind of, sort of related to each other. So, bear with me if I go off on a tangent about something else. So, health insurance. Yeah. It's something that has been a big question mark on people's minds for, at least the past year. Pretty much since Donald Trump became president. Actually, probably even since the whole Affordable Care Act / Obamacare came into existence. People have had all sorts of questions about health insurance and, why do we need it? Should we be subsidized for it? How much should we have to pay? All kinds of stuff like that. And honestly, there are a lot of questions with not anywhere near as many solid answers. So, especially when it comes to the costs and that kind of stuff, there are so many variables and things like that going on that if we changed our health insurance and healthcare system, the things would be completely different. I mean, it's almost like a microcosm of the fine-tuning argument of all of existence and all of that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's, again, sorry, tangents, but this is how my brain works sometimes. Really, when it comes to health insurance and that kind of stuff, I personally have not really taken advantage of the health insurance that I have. I will say the options that I got through the Affordable Care Act and, going online and searching that up, using the government website and that kind of stuff for all that, wound up being a heck of a lot cheaper than it would have been had I taken another option. I'm just going to keep calling it Obamacare from now on because that's what most people refer to it as, even though it's not technically the proper name for it, but whatever. I'm keeping it simple here. So, with the whole Obamacare system, I know for me personally, and for a lot of other people that don't necessarily have a high income, it's a relief to know that, hey, we can get some decent healthcare options where not everything costs an arm and a leg, whether literally or figuratively. And so, from that standpoint, it's definitely a positive thing, I think. There are some things in the whole Obamacare bill that aren't great, like, why would you make it a law that people have to have health insurance? It's kind of dumb. And there are some other things like that that are just weird, but anyway, I still think what we currently have with Obamacare is 1,000 times better than any of the harebrained schemes that I've heard being put together by our current Congress, especially by the Republicans in Congress right now, that basically wants to make us pay an arm and a leg for, everything, except for the people who are really rich, which, again, I find totally stupid. Why should the rich people get cuts from certain expenses that poorer people don't get? It's stupid. We don't benefit from rich people getting tax cuts. Their businesses, okay, maybe potentially, because if they use those tax cuts and take that extra money and feed it back into their business and help grow the economy, okay. But rich people themselves, from their own personal finances, I don't understand why people are so hesitant to tax rich people. I'm not talking about their businesses, I'm talking about them specifically. They're raking in all this money from their businesses that they're not pouring into it when they should be. They clearly have more money than they really even need to make any kind of normal living. They've got all these fancy cars and that kind of crap, that why the heck do they need them? And the fact that we're giving them these tax cuts and all that kind of stuff is ridiculous. What I find the most infuriating about talking about this topic is that when I compare it with other topics that people will talk about, that it just seems like, especially a lot of Christians that I will talk to, are so hypocritical when it comes to topics like this. Because they'll take something like abortion and be like, no, abortion goes against God's will, we need to make it illegal. And yet, for something that is promoting helping others, which is part of God's will, taking care of those who need it most, when it comes to the beneficial things that would help other people out that are less fortunate than ourselves, a lot of these so-called Christians, the same ones that are saying abortion should be illegal, are like, no, well, why should other people take their hard-earned money and just hand it out to somebody else who isn't going to be able to pay them back or isn't going to be able to feed it back into the system or anything like that? Are you serious? This is literally the basis of the early Christian church. They shared everything they could with each other as they had need. Period. Read it in Acts. It's right there, okay? I'm sorry if I'm getting a little animated, but this is one of those things that bugs the crap out of me, alright? Don't go hard and fast line on the sin issues and then not have the similar kind of love and respect and care of other people when it comes to enacting positive things, okay? You can't just get rid of the negative and go to heaven. No, heaven is not about sin avoidance. It's about a positive, loving, engaging relationship with God. So if you want to just have, sin negation as all of your laws, guess what? You're not getting people to heaven that way. Period. All right? If you're trying to help this become more of a Christian nation and anything like that, you're not helping the situation by merely promoting laws that would be a matter of sin avoidance. All right? So, please, stop it. Just stop. If you're going to say that we should make abortion or something like that illegal, yes, I know it's sinful, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but if you're gonna do that and then not say that the people who are rolling in money that don't have a clue what to spend it on shouldn't give a little extra to help out the people less fortunate so they can freaking live, you're not promoting Christian values, alright? You're just telling people that you're a Christian to push your particular political agenda, alright? So stop it! Yes, I know. I'm really, more annoyed at this topic than I have been at any other that I posted a video about. I'm sorry. I'm just sick and tired of all the hypocrisy when it comes to Christians in the political realm and the agendas that they take. Alright? So, anyway, settling it down a little bit, so essentially that kind of leaves us with a couple of main options. Either you take I'm just going to label it the libertarian approach to things where people will fund, let's say, health insurance or food stamps or whatever. The people will help each other out as they can of their own volition, which, great. I would say that is the ideal way to do it. But, to the best of my knowledge, there aren't any laws or restrictions on people, especially rich people who have the money to do this kind of stuff, saying, oh, hey, this thing here isn't very good, like this road isn't very good, or this school is in disrepair, or something like that. There's nothing preventing them from seeing a situation like that and paying some people out of their own pocket to fix the situation. Now, I might be wrong on that, okay? If there are some laws preventing that, please let me know in the comments section down below, because I will admit I have not 100% thoroughly researched that particular thing. But I have heard some stories of, a few occasional instances of rich people putting their own money into stuff to fix something and it not being a major legal issue. So I'm thinking there's nothing stopping them. So that's what the libertarian approach would entail, that the people that have the money to do things and, are wanting to fix something would either individually or as a kind of collective group all pitch in together to fix a particular thing that there's an issue with or help somebody as they have need of it. And you know what? If we could do things that way, that'd be great. But our current situation does not seem to have that kind of stuff going on a whole lot. Now, there are some groups that's like, okay, here's a collective health insurance pool that we're going to all put money into. And then as people inside this insurance pool have need of, using their health care, using the money out of this pool, we're going to give it to them as they have need of it. Okay, yeah, there are some instances here and there of things like that, but obviously not everything is getting fixed by some rich dude that sees a problem and is like, hey, I want to fix this. Because there are a lot of rich people out there that don't give a crap about other people. They don't care how the roads are unless they're driving on them personally. They don't give a crap about the schools and how they're educating our children. And, there are all sorts of things that, okay, yes, you have a couple of exceptions here and there, but you also have the flat out greedy people that just aren't going to do it. So while I would love to have the libertarian approach to things, I don't know how practical that is with our current type of capitalistic, greedy economic system. And, having just greedy people in the world that aren't going to do this kind of stuff and are going to look out for themselves. So then the other approach would be essentially kind of socialism, where the government just decides, you know what, we're going to force everybody. And obviously that's not the preferred approach, but when there are some people that refuse to, help others out of their own volition, then I really don't see it as a big issue that we take a little bit more money from the people that have a lot more than everybody else and use it to help other people out. And yes, I know there are all sorts of other ways that money is being misused and mishandled and all sorts of other things going on with our government and politics and economy and everything like that. It's all a big jumbled up mess. I get it. But my main point in all this kind of goes back to what I was just flat out ranting about before. The fact that anybody who claims to be a Christian and is using that Christian perspective to push their agendas on making abortion illegal or, saying gay marriage should be illegal or something like that, but isn't then also using that Christian perspective and viewpoint to promote things like helping other people, charities, nonprofit organizations, and just general helping others, whether it be health insurance or helping people with food or with, homeless people or any of that kind of stuff. If you're not going to promote the positive helping people, but you're going to push the sin avoidance, then I'm sorry, you're not putting a Christian perspective out there. You're just using certain biblical passages as reasoning to push your already pre-established political agenda. All right? So if you're one of those people that's doing that and you're claiming to be a Christian, stop it. Just stop it. Okay? You're not helping as much as you think you are. All right. I've said my piece. I apologize for being all like yelly and ranty and ravey, but oh my gosh, this is something that gets me fired up, especially in light of previous topics that I've talked about and how people treat those versus how they treat this topic. All right. So, yeah. There's a whole lot more I could say, but I'm already going past the time when most people are going to pay attention to this, so I'm going to leave it at that. As always, like and share if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel to see more stuff as I post it. Click the subscription bell and check the box to get notified whenever I post my videos so you can stay up to date on all of that. Feel free to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. More information on that down in the description. And please leave some comments on your thoughts on this topic. Am I just totally, completely off base with the whole rich people being allowed to help others thing? Am I totally off base with how the economic structure would work? Am I somehow missing the mark on the Christian perspective in all this? Let me know in the comments section. And if you have other ideas of things I could talk about, leave a comment for that too. That's it. I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully you'll tune in for the next video I post. But in any case, stay cool, people.